interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Powerbanks are essential devices for any smartphone user. They provide more battery life for our smart devices that grow thinner every year, so that brings about smaller batteries and poorer battery life. So is it okay to cheap out when buying a power bank, or should you pay up for a more higher end one from a more renowned manufacturer like Xiaomi or Asus or Anker? Well, to find out, I got a cheap power bank and a budget power bank. The cheap one is this $5 dollar power bank from Taobao or Alibaba, which for a 5,700 milliamp power bank is really cheap. And on the less sketchy end of the spectrum, I got this 10,050 milliamp power bank from Asus, which cost me 40 Singapore dollars, which is about 8 times more than the cheap one for less than 2 times of the capacity. So that's quite a price difference. So if you want to find out the prices in your currency, just put it in Google. These are in Singapore dollars. So let's compare them, shall we? As always, we start off with the design. With the cheaper power bank, you get this soft touch green plastic, mostly, and you get one side that is glossy white, which is ugly as all hell, and that picks up fingerprints as well. In terms of I/O, it charges with micro USB and outputs a claimed 2.1 amperes through a standard USB Type A port. The build quality is subpar, and the device feels flimsy and hollow, which sucks. On the Asus, you find a way better design with a solid casing that's mostly aluminium, which is awesome, and it has the same I/O as the cheap power bank of one micro USB port for charging and a full-size USB Type A port for output that outputs 2.1 amperes. So you won't find any difference here. In terms of build quality, however, the Asus is way better than the cheap power bank, and it's kind of expected because it's gorgeous, as it has that gorgeous anodized aluminium finish, which is nice. And in the design aspect, then there really is no competition. The Asus wins, which is expected. Once again, the Asus is more expensive, so yeah. In terms of accessory department, the Asus also wins again. Both of them come with a micro USB Type B cable, but the Asus comes with a rubber casing. So if you're worried about dents and scratches on your power bank, which you really shouldn't because it's just a power bank, you can use that, which is nice. So let's move on to the internals. In terms of claim specifications, the cheaper power bank actually wins here. It provides half the capacity and the same output as the Asus for way lower price. But how does it actually perform? Now, while I do not have the high-end professional equipment to find out whether their capacity and performance ratings are true and which one's better, I do have the ability to run some rudimentary tests. Rudimentary, I don't know. And can run some of these simple tests and use a calculator and calculate the performance and kind of mimic a battery test. So what is the testing methodology? I used both of the power banks to charge my OnePlus 2, not simultaneously, of course, and this OnePlus 2 has a 3,400 milliamp power battery, so that's something to take note of. And while charging, I recorded things like the speed of charging as well as the amount of charge each power bank could provide. And the results are not that surprising. The Asus won, but the difference is actually pretty dramatic. The cheap power bank provided a charge of less than half of its rated capacity, only managing to charge my OnePlus 2, which was powered, by the way, to around 60%, which is 2,000 milliamps of battery, according to my calculator. And in the time it took to charge that 60%, the Asus managed to charge 170% on my OnePlus 2. So way slower in terms of output. Probably not 2.1 amperes, so it's probably a wrong rating. And the Asus provided great performance, which is unsurprising, as it delivered about 280% of charge on my OnePlus 2, which is about 9,500 milliamps of power, which is way better performance than the cheapo power bank. Now, I know battery capacity and performance isn't tested this way. This is by no means professional or accurate, but I think it provides a decent representation of real life performance. And that was my phone ringing. Just ignore that. I should have put it on silent mode. So conclusion time it is. Is paying up for a more expensive power bank worth it? Yes, a hard yes. Not only does it provide a more premium, reliable experience, so it will perform better and feel nicer, it definitely will be safer. Safety of batteries are a huge concern as they're extremely potent, they're full of energy, and you never know whether a cheaper, crappily manufactured power bank will go full Note 7 on you and blow up. Hence, I feel it's definitely worth it to pay up for a better power bank from a good manufacturer. I guess that's it for this video. If you liked it or found it helpful, do be sure to like and subscribe, and for more tech videos for this, subscribe. And if you didn't enjoy it, there is a set button on the right side, but if you press it, do tell me in the comments why you did so I can improve my videos. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. You can check out my other videos. There'll be a bunch of reviews coming up, and there are a bunch of reviews that came before this, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Yeah, bye.